A concussion is usually the brain shifting inside the skull. So it's a closed system. The head or the skull doesn't give much way, so what ends up happening is that the brain shifts forward and backwards and kind of bruises itself on the cranium.
If you go in and say, all right, whose head's hurt because we're taking a look for concussions at halftime right now, nobody would raise their hand. So, you know, because they want to play. And that is our goal, is to get them to be able to play, but to be able to go play safely.
We see it most commonly in high-risk sports like football. We can also see it in volleyball, wrestling, and hockey. But you can also get it in other sports, very commonly in soccer also. One
of the things that can happen with their signs and symptoms is they are not thinking right. So they may not be knowing that they're telling you that they feel okay when obviously they're not right, but they're highly emotional and they really want to go back in, but people don't interpret that in the manner that they're just not thinking right. They interpret that in the manner that you're just being mean by not letting them go back.
A lot of people think that it's going to be that big hit that everybody sees on ESPN. It's that big wow factor. And a lot of times it does not necessarily have to be that way. Specifically in football, you can have a concussion happen and not be a spectacular hit or a spectacular fall or anything like that. It could just be repetitive trauma, repetitive head-to-head contact with those helmets. So you can have subconcussive events that cause eventually a concussion.
Personally, I've had individuals, you know, even last year I had a college student who the same thing, just very emotional, couldn't believe I wasn't letting him go back in, very argumentative, and he ended up having to go to the hospital, came back, everything was okay. I talked to him 2 days later at training room, he didn't remember a thing.